what's up, everybody? We're going to let loose a little bit today. This is not going to be scripted or anything. And if you don't like curse words, I would say stop the video at this point because we are a little bit unfiltered. I've got my really good friend on today, Jacqueline, and we're going to talk a little bit about the CX cult and what it's all about, what you can get out of it, shameless plug ourselves, like all that good stuff. So, but before we get kind of riffing back and forth, Jacqueline, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
I'm Jacqueline. I have been working in many different industries, basically the entirety of my life. And I currently get to work with a really great company, and I get to hang out with my friend Reese here as well and shamelessly plug the CX cult.
Awesome. We should have put on our cult uniforms, but we'll save that for when everybody comes in.
That's only during ceremonies.
Yeah, for initiation. All right. So I'm just going to kind of jump right in. So the CX cult actually is it's a little bit of a derivative of what I had started like doing customer experience coaching. So CX is customer experience. But what I realized is there's a bigger movement that could be made versus one-on-one coaching. So we brought in this online community. Jax has helped me a ton with this, and she's going to be a huge part of this going forward. So we hadn't really got together and talked about this on camera. So it was all in the belief of how you look at your customer journey. So let's just start off at the top. Let's talk about awareness and how that relates to customer experience. And then your view, Jacqueline, on, I guess, customer experience overall, but where do you start when it comes to awareness, when it comes to customer experience?
I mean, who the naughty word are you?
Don't cut it out. Who the fuck are you is what we
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
she's the one that pushed that on me, so I'm not gonna let her beep that out right now.
Yeah, I have to take full credit. That's all me. Because what's the point of, I mean, every single person is going to pitch to you the funnel, right? So we're always talking about the funnel, but honestly, if you want to get down to the grit of what the funnel is, it's who the fuck are you? Like, who do you stand for? What are you? Not your logo, not your timeline, but like you started this business as a business owner to solve a problem, to sell a product. There's something that you brought to the table. So like, let's start there. And I feel like when you ask someone that, they have a really hard time articulating.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? That seems to be
Yep.
such an issue for most business owners that I find. Or it did start in one place and then it grew to a point where it got lost. The meaning behind the purpose got lost. So I think defining that, what your spine is, your conviction, your worldview, like what's the hill you're willing to die on when it comes to your business?
Yeah. I was talking to Leslie the other day, and the way she like frames it up was the polarity piece of it. Like, be who you are. It's going to attract some people, and it's going to detract and push other people away. But at the core of it, you need to be who you are because if you want people to do business with you, and whether you're selling product or services, they want to do business with you, not your generic fillers or your generic website. Like it needs to feel like you. And I feel like we've really transitioned, maybe even post COVID, where everything went from being it has to be polished, cute, cut, clean to screw that. Like, let's just be who we are. And if people like that, they will come versus trying to fake it and hope people come.
I agree. I think you're going to see, I mean, everyone's like, do this and get this outcome.
Mm-hmm.
But, I would say CX cult is basically like, listen, we have a system, but not a script, right? So the whole point is finding out who you are, what's the point, and being who you actually are. I think a lot of us are like, let me be PC and I'm going to go on, say, LinkedIn, and I'm going to talk about, look at all the great things I've done. But like, what are you like after 5 o'clock? Like, I want to know like who you are. And I don't want to just hear like, these are my hobbies and these are the like, tell me about yourself and not the stuff that you're willing to show the public, the stuff that makes you you. Because whether you believe it or not, those pieces of you are actually more important. And I think you'll find a way to connect with people far quicker if you just access that part of yourself that you're like, no. Or even in the sense that, like, I'm worried if I say this, there'll be some judgment about me or my company. Okay, great. You know what? But guess what? If you're not selling authenticity, you are not going to actually be able to. And I'm not meaning to say like don't follow the script. But however, you need to evolve as a company, but the core beliefs should always stay the same in that awareness. Like you really need to nail that down. I feel like before you can even look at consideration or any other portion of this, because at some point your customer's going to have questions and circle back to what they originally looked at to find you.
Yep. And the other thing too is I think, and we've seen this, is people get trapped inside of their industry bubble. Like if these three companies are doing it, I must do the same thing or I'm going to be behind. And part of the CX cult is for you to get outside of that bubble so that if you're a like car dealership, so to say, and you get an idea from a restaurant industry, like that's what we want to see happen because it's not going to directly translate, obviously, because you're not serving sandwiches at the dealership, but there's principles inside that because they're focused on a customer experience. So having those kind of minds and getting outside of the industry bubble where everybody's saying or doing the same thing. And it comes back to being disruptive. Like people buy disruptive products and services now.
They do. And I would say, I mean, to your point with the industry thing, I think what's great about it is if you can see a gap in your business that another industry has managed to fill in with something that could possibly work, why not take the risk on that? Because you could pattern disrupt and
Yep.
add something into your industry that could be changing to the entirety of the industry.
Yep.
Right.
Which is kind of like when we talk about the cult. The cult, like when people say that word now, it's like, oh shit, it's going to be a Netflix documentary. Somebody died. There's children abused. They're abusing the Lord's name. Like all this stuff comes up. But we kind of shifted that to say, hey, cult is not just the Netflix documentary. It's a culture around that mindset, the way that you think, the way that you observe, and your obsession with what the customer wants today, but what you can also influence them to want in the future. And I think that's a big missing part is we're in this cycle of customer has a problem, I need to solve it. Maybe that's true at the foundational level, but an experience goes above and beyond that. And I go back, I watched this webinar. You'll appreciate this one. It was on the Disney World Magic Bands, you know, the little things where you can tap all over the place and it lights up. Well, it was a guy that was on the team that invented that. And he's like, nobody got that information from the customer that they wanted something easy to tap around. But he's like, we invented something that enhanced the customer experience that they didn't even know that they needed. And now it's a staple. Like people keep those magic bands forever.
Of course, because it's a piece of what they're taking with them. It's a memory that they've associated with that thing that they're allowed to tap around, and it gets them everything they want, but also it reminds them of a moment that meant something.
Yep.
Most of those people that are traveling there, like it's a make memories place. And I think the CX cult, what I love about it, honestly, is that it's like hive mind almost. You are taking some of the industry's top leaders and business owners and people, and they're sharing perspective on things in ways that you may not have. And I think that allows when you have like that sort of hive, like every bee gets going if they see all the other bees going, like here we are, we can generate different outcomes. Maybe I see something about somebody's business that I can be like, hey, you should try this. I think that would be a fantastic fit for that. You're not going to find, I think, an owner-based community that's going to be more bullshit breakthrough than CX cult,
Yep.
frankly.
Yep.
Um, because it's not what you're not doing is saying, like, here, follow these templates, and that's all we're going to do from here. And guess what? X plus Y equals C, and here's your outcome. Because great, that might work for a little bit while to get your numbers boosted, but is it going to work for the longevity of your company?
Yep. And me and you both have kids, and we probably parent. So if you're watching this as a parent, you may this is one of our polarity statements here. Is our kids don't get participation trophies. It's that they know what first place is, they know what winning is, and they know what losing is. And I think that we've marketing companies or coaching or consulting, they think they can hand everybody a first place trophy, and that's just not the way that it rolls. So that's another like driver for me is like we can show you the way, not give you a template, but change the way you view it. It's going to be up to you to go out there and win. I mean, you've got to go throw the touchdown passes, not us.
Right. And I think that's something I know like a lot of owners especially are looking for someone they can kind of be like, here, take this and make this happen for me. Unfortunately, sometimes you're going to have to get your hands dirty.
Yep.
If you want to win, you got to participate to win. But here's the thing is all of the people that have joined this have most of them actually, I see a lot of them with multiple businesses,
Mhm.
multiple success stories. So, the grit is real. So
Yep.
I'm not surprised, if you're able to do that. I mean, here's the other thing too. If you have multiple businesses in different industries, think of the things that you could accomplish if you can web them together. You know what I mean? And yeah, offer things. Everyone's always like, it's not about the destination, it's the journey. The journey's grueling. Find the side quests, okay? You're
Yep.
gonna run into pain points with every single individual. So this is a place where you can come and be like, hey, what should I do to like pit stop before that? Let's blow off some stuff that literally shocks someone so much that they're going to stay with us, not because, oh, they did a great job, say property management. They solved my maintenance issue so quickly. Thanks. Okay, cool. What did
Just
you do instead? Yeah, right. Like, okay, like this is what the expectation was. Do you want a cookie? Like, where are we? Yeah, right. Golf, tap it out and head in the other direction. And then the company's like, look at us. And it's like, look at what? You did what you were supposed to do. Now let's find the thing that they didn't know that you could offer as value and give them that.
yep,
Find that thing that's going to give them more. You could
yep,
say, I mean, I worked in the hospitality and restaurant industry for a long time. There's a million different ways that you can support someone. And all it takes sometimes is a little bit of listening. All
hmm
right. Listening to the individual's wants and needs. And, in marketing, I've worked in marketing too, but A/B testing, right? So usually what you're going to do is try two separate things and see what works. Why not test stuff out on your people and find which one works? And then guess what? Whichever one takes off, you apply it to the rest of the people. So everybody gets a piece of the pie.
yep. Which is a perfect segue. And we did not plan this, but Jason, I don't know if you saw his post. He put the AI chat bot on his website the other day inside the cult. He's like, hey, before I have customers tell me this is all wacky. He puts it inside the CX cult and he's like, hey, go to my website and check out this AI bot and call her and test it up, which kind of moves into consideration. But that's the space, right? Like you can try those new things and some are going to work and some aren't. I think that's the other component here is you're not the CX cult isn't meant for this works, so everybody go do it. It's meant for, hey, this is an idea for you to go explore with your business and be okay if it doesn't work. Like it's fine. We're not charging you $20,000 for you to go test this, right? It's 25 bucks a month. So go test these ideas. But Jason did that exact same thing the other day. So I went and talked to his AI bot, and he got direct feedback from a community that thinks like a CX customer. Like that's what they wanted.
Right. It's perfect. You get to test it out before you're actually bringing it to market, get some feedback, make some adjustments ahead of time. But here's the thing, if you're a business owner, some things will fail. If you're not in the mindset that if you try something and it doesn't work, you just try again from a different angle. You could be Here's an example. I had a great talk with a gentleman on Friday, and we were talking about a computer programming system that he was setting up, and they ran everything. They could not figure out why they couldn't get this thing to work. And he was like, it was hours. He was like, and I just said, plug it in backwards, like run it backwards and see what we get. And it worked. And he was like, I just kind of threw up my hands. But sometimes it's the thing that you least expect to be the thing that's going to work that actually does. You're like doubting yourself. You're thinking this isn't going to happen. You can take an idea from here, piece it with something else, and you may have a problem solver.
Yep. Sometimes a different perspective is all it takes. We get so trapped in our own head of this is how it should go versus walking into a room and saying, okay, I'm stuck. Somebody give me a different perspective, just like you said, hey, run it backwards. And then boom, there's the magic.
Yeah. I mean, and you're going to need that in the consideration phase, frankly. You're going to need
Yes.
because that is a part of the funnel I feel like a lot of people can get stuck in because you have competitors in every industry and everyone is going to, I saw you were talking about reviews the other day and they are so important, right? Because it's going to basically, where does anyone these days go the second that they're aware of you?
Yep.
They go and read your reviews.
Yep.
And I will say, though, most of the time, people don't take the time these days to write a good review. They're taking the time to just write their bad experience. So if you can implement something like the why you, why now, and a customer goes and makes those statements for you on those, like consideration made up, like I'm ready to purchase, like
Yep.
let's play this game, let's move forward.
Here's what I've seen really good companies do because we talk about like how do you tie these together is they tie consideration to loyalty. So after they've done a good job through consideration and they've earned that review, so to say, they tie that into loyalty. Like, hey, if you go do in this format, if you kind of give your feedback, we'll give you X back immediately. And I was like, perfect. You've done two things right there. You've
Yeah.
created that brand ambassador through consideration, purchase, service, but now they're loyal because you've given them something back for them being part of your team and helping promote. And I was like, that's the connected journey. Wise to your point, don't just let them leave a 5-star review. They need to go sell and show people the social proof behind why that next person should choose you.
But this is the kind of stuff that you're going to get in CX Cult. It's an ecosystem, right? It's an ecosystem of ideas, business owners. It's a living, breathing entity that allows you to take the time to kind of go through this entire, like, and this is just the one aspect of CX Cult, but the funnel is something that every business should be looking at. And if you're not familiar with it as a business owner, we need to start there.
Yeah, was Jacqueline, this is her text notes I keep looking at over here. She said, in consideration, it should be why the fuck should I care is really what that should be titled. And it's so accurate. Like they can call company after company after company, but they want to know why they should care about what you're trying to sell them.
Yeah. I mean, that's the biggest thing is because most of the people, you're a business and you have something that I need, but like, why you? Why do I
Yep,
give a shit about what you're offering me? What is it about you that's going to make me? Because I mean, frankly, 90% of things in the world you can go on Amazon for, but if I can get a real human to talk to, I'm going to choose that 100% over everything. If I can find a product and a person and a reason, why not? If it's, those are the things, it's not just persuading the customer, right? It's way more like, I could come to you as opposed to another consulting company because you're not just going to be like, oh, so you're number 55 this year.
heck
And
yeah.
it's nice to meet you. I'm going to run this 30-second script as to why you need to choose me and how I'll
Yep.
solve all your life's problems and your business will be great. No, no. I want confirmation that I'm screwing things up and need help in this arena. What is it about you that's going to solve this pain point more than anybody? And that's going to, if you don't fix this, your business is going to bleed out slowly and you already know it. Call me out on my bullshit.
Yep.
Like, especially as a business owner, that's the biggest thing. This is the place to do it. Think of it like therapy. Come, relieve your
Boom.
problems.
Yes, it is a therapy group. That's really what the CX cult slash therapy sessions. Because it is. You're in just it's literally a created space that we're talking about an overarching, I don't want a system maybe, but an overarching way of doing business so that it's not like everybody else there. I mean, you have 10 of the same kind of businesses on the same road. You have one of those business owners that comes in and has a CX cult mentality and puts all of this together. He'll close down the other nine because he's going to attract so much to that one because it's different. It's not a cookie cutter playbook. And you put, all right, I'm going to move it to purchase because it's right on cue. I love Jacqueline's notes. That's why I keep looking over here. Is this going to make me feel like an idiot or a genius after I do it? Because they don't know. They've looked at your social proof, they've watched your face, reviews, like all of that coming together, but now they've wrote the check, so to say, or sign the ink. So we're at a pivotal moment and it's vulnerable for a customer when they come in. Like I've made a decision now, where am I going to stand?
Here's my buyer's remorse button. Like
Yeah.
immediately. What I mean, like in general, you're going to find even the smallest purchase can, am I going to regret this? Is this another thing, that's going to abandon me? And, I've worked in sales for a long time too. What I'll say is this is you can sell anybody, but can you follow up in that onboarding process? Can you deliver the product that you promised? And how do you deliver it? And do you go above and beyond what you sold them? What does that look like? You know what I mean? Like where do you step in and say, oh, this is way more than I anticipated receiving from what I thought I would get? And,
Yep.
frankly, if you're looking for ways to do that, I would say if you have an entire group of people that you can, brain dump with like this, and see, because I think that's in any industry, I think that's a huge, because once a customer says, okay, cool, I'm paying you this money, then there's an expectation created though too. I'm giving you something, I expect something in return. And not just of regular value. People today just don't want like, okay, cool, this is transactional. They want something curated to them.
Yep.
That's where we're
No,
living at this point.
yep. And on that purchase, like they want to feel like you're standing behind it too. So you see all these guarantees, cancellation policies. Costco is one of my freaking favorite with this. Like they went customer experience crazy, and you can return anything to Costco. No receipt, no questions asked. You literally can drag an old bed in there from 7 years ago that's
Yeah.
just reeks. And the person at the counter is gonna be like, okay, no problem. They look it up, boom, refund, go shop. And I'm like, they didn't care about the nuance. They optimized it for 99% of what customers wanted. And then on the other end of the spectrum, I won't call any names, but there's in this world of cancellation policies. And I had someone I was talking with the other day, and he said, well, I instituted a cancellation policy, but fee if somebody cancels within a certain time period because everybody around me does it. And I was like, that is the worst thing I've ever heard. You did it because everybody else did it. It should be the exact opposite. You should be the only one not charging a cancellation fee. Like that's the difference in service and experience. Like back up what you're doing. And if you can't back it up, that's when you have to add in all this other garbage stuff to make it harder for the customer.
Right. But if it makes it harder for the customer, what's the point of being a customer then?
Boom.
There we
So
go.
there is no ecosystem being generated. Period.
No, and you'll see, I mean, I won't name names either, but you see that with like big industries where they'll offer you, say, a monthly subscription and it's a small amount of money, but they make canceling like jumping through hoops. And honestly, it's a nightmare at the facility when you go to it. It's not like there's a bunch of, if you ever read some of the stuff that people put out when you're signing a contract with them and you're like, oh, that's terrifying if you do it.
Yep.
Like the goal is not to scare people, but if people are signing agreements that are scary because they want your product, it means that you've said something to them that means something. So
Yep.
find a way to make it, you want to keep them there in a good spot as opposed to being like, okay, well, I've signed this and say to your point with that person, there's a cancellation fee. Okay. But like if I ask, are you going to waive it? Are you going to step into something else if I come to you and I tell you I'm dissatisfied with the service? Like what are you going to do from here? And how does this fix what I was looking for if you can't accommodate my actual needs? You know what I mean? Like if and you're going to run into that. There will be people that you will never satisfy. There will be a very small percentage of all of that. And you will be able to brainstorm 6 ways to Sunday and someone may not like you. It will just be.
That's
But
just
if you're
reality.
not brainstorming 6 ways to Sunday, then you've already not done your
Yep.
job.
And don't optimize for that type of customer
No.
either. Like again, going back to Costco, optimize for what the majority of your current and future customers want. And you will keep attracting those versus that 1% that no matter what you do, bend over backwards, give them the world, they'll be unsatisfied.
But there is something to learn from those people because every once in a while, you can turn one of those people, and it is the absolute greatest feeling in the world. You're like, okay, so I literally turned Grumpy Gus into somebody who is now, and they're loyal. If you can get over that, but you can't optimize for that 1%. You need to optimize for the majority.
And then you teach them how to evolve into what you've created, like your point. So
Yeah.
all right, so service, the absolute longest part probably of a customer journey, and it's so different across any industry. I was talking with Andrew the other day, and he's big into the multifamily space, but he asked me this question. He's like, "Where do you get most of your inspiration when it comes to CX?" And I told him, I was like, "Restaurant business,
Yeah.
hands down." Because McDonald's, people don't think of it. That's a restaurant, and they have customer experience elements all over that place. Like that, they're king of that. Chick-fil-A, all the way up to like Unreasonable Hospitality, the number one restaurant in the world. Like that's where I get everything from. But as we continued the conversation, he thought about something, and he at a young age worked at a restaurant. And there was these 10 non-negotiables. There was a rules on the wall, and the very first one was no cold food. But basically, if an order hit the top tray up there, to be delivered out, it wasn't let's wait on that particular server to get it out. It hit the top, and whoever was right there took it to that table. And I was like, there's so much power in that coming from a restaurant that you can translate to any type of business. And what it made me think of is like in property management, work order hits. Let's not wait for somebody else to pick it up. Somebody jump in and take care of that. Phone rings, pick it up, like those elements.
I mean, so I worked in many restaurants and yes, that's always how it was. And it's funny because they don't like it's in your training. They train that like you train from the beginning to do that. Like it doesn't matter that you don't stand around waiting for your food to come up. You take what's next so that you keep it moving. Um, but I'm surprised that there are so many companies that people just don't answer the phone.
Mm-hmm.
Like and that's the biggest issue. If you're not answering your phone, you're already turning down business. If you're not responding to a voicemail, you're already losing business. And speed to lead, I know like everyone's like, yeah, it is. It really is. Like, if something pops up for me, I'm taking calls on the weekend. I'm sorry. I can take 2 minutes out of my time to be like, hey, it's not a good time for me. Is there a good time for you later?
Yep.
But if you're not making people a priority. You would be amazed when I call someone immediately, they're like, "Oh, wow, you just got back to me so quickly."
But
Yeah. Hi.
that's our cult. Our culture
Yeah.
is speed.
Yeah. Has to be. And you have an entire group like I guarantee when people are putting things in, you know what I mean? Like in the CX cult and they're like asking a question, there's a response because most of those people are business owners, but they want a response too. So like you're not waiting. You have a whole community that's supporting. I think that's incredibly important as well. So it's not scripted, but it's support.
Yes.
We can go through all of it with you. But it's therapy. You can go through from the beginning all the way to the
Yep.
end.
And that's the thing we like. So inside the cult, just kind of the plugs here is we have individual sessions on all of this, the discussion boards around that. We're going to continue bringing in experts where they're experts on those individual elements. So as you're hearing and seeing everything, you can say, holy cow, I realize there's a gap that I have in the purchase side or the service side. Like you don't have to just go in there and go all in all the time. You'll be able to analyze your business over each individual element from different angles. So that's why it's really, really cool to see it all put together. And then again, wrapping it all around loyalty. I learned this from the Jeep world. So I'm huge into the Jeep community. And what I started seeing on the gram, as the cool kids say, is like all these brand ambassadors. When I first got in, I was like, "What the hell is a brand ambassador? Like, how do I do that?" And what I learned is those particular companies will provide products at no cost or a discount at cost to people that are influential to the community. And then it made me think. I was like, so they hired salespeople without ever putting them on payroll because and I was like, light bulb, like every industry service product should have that mindset because you're creating loyalty. And then, here in Tampa Bay, like if I use a product, people ask me about it. I have influence over that. And if I don't like it, I straight up tell them, why can't we create that inside of all other industries? Was mind blowing. And that's the movement and the push that I'm trying to have there.
Yeah, I think there's that. And I think that the fact that CX Cult is multi-industry, what's
Mhm.
great about that is there are owners within there who can absolutely plug and help each other to increase, like everybody needs someone. It's cyclical, right? So there could be, you can tie together multiple industries that you may not have thought you could tie together and build that community of loyalty within the CX Cult. Everybody's got what somebody needs. Build that brand ambassador relationship, build the relationships in general and then
Yep.
build your business. You know what I mean? Build that experience.
I heard this from somebody I used to work with. It's called the up, down, and across. Like have somebody that's that you look up to that's above where you're at, having the people that are right where you're at the same level, and then people you can also mentor below you. So this community kind of creates that all the way around. People are in different parts of their business journey. Some of them are big players. Some of them, I got one guy coming in. He's starting his first business, and I was like, dude, the first thing I'm going to do when you get the address and everything is we're going to post your Google page inside of there so that our cult members can leave you a review. Like that's huge. So they know how to leave a review that can get you jump started even faster. So there's all this that we kind of piece together inside of literally a cult, a community that supports each other.
Right. I mean, so think of it like you have experience and, expertise, and then you have innovation, fresh, young mind coming in, you know what I mean? Compare those together, you're hitting all angles.
Yep. And then, like you said, it's not a playbook. Like we're not going to say, buy this for 9.99. We're going to give you this templated thing that we've given to 500 other companies, and you'll get some kind of outcome. It's
Yeah.
not like that. We encourage some free thinking, visionary people to come in here. And the plug part, here we go. It's only $25 a month. And the way we have it set up is if you buy the whole year, it's 250 bucks. So you're getting 2 months free. So the goal here is if you're not willing to spend 250 bucks for a whole year to input, get stuff out of, to change your business, it's not the room for you.
I mean, at this point, most people are spending money on subscriptions that get them no value
Yeah.
whatsoever. So if you're out here with 5 subscriptions to something you don't even check a month and you can't hit 25 bucks a
Yep.
month, let's talk because there's bigger issues at hand.
Yep. And also, I've noticed, like, just being fully transparent, you have like two kinds of cult members. You have the observers that just kind of like to see what's going on, and then you have those that are big on input and providing value and commenting, and liking. You can be either one of those people, but we just encourage you to be in the room and present, so to say. So coming to those webinars, watching the videos, watching the YouTubes that we put out. When ideas or other cult members need assistance, what can you do to pitch in? We just really want to make it into such a tight knit group that it creates a movement for people that aren't even in the cult, that those businesses get recognized at some point. Like, yeah, we can tell that's a cult member right there because they're doing stuff that is so disruptive, focused on the customer. Their employees are the most highly engaging employees that I've ever seen in any business. That's what we're trying to create.
Yeah. I mean, I think that it's a disservice to a business to not take such an opportunity to meet with other business owners. Like there isn't a lot of stuff that I have seen out there that allows business owners to me on a level that is like nitty gritty. Like here's the fires I'm putting out. What
Mhm.
am I doing wrong? Like here's my bullshit. Help me.
Yep.
Like
Unjudged and unsales pitch
yeah,
too. That's what's awesome. Like I'm not going to jump in here and say, "Oh, I could fix that for you," but here's how we're going to sell it. No,
right.
it's like here's the angle you need to look at. Your problem really isn't X. It's because you didn't think of Y, and that's why it keeps coming up.
Right. We're not going to hand you, the whole script. We'll hand you a watering can to put the fire out yourself.
Yes, exactly. That's a great way to put it. It's up to you at that point. But cool.
Like it's a little bit of gentle parenting, you know what I
Yes.
mean? You can do hard things.
Maybe that's what we should have like our description is gentle parenting slash therapy group too. So it's so good. But we have fun. And that's the other thing too. Not gonna be polished. Like we're real human beings. We're gonna have some fun in there, push you to think differently.
Right, and call you out. And I
Yeah.
think that's the other thing too. And that's I like for me, if I'm doing something and I'm like down and I'm like, this is right, I'm so right. And someone's like, but you're wrong, and here's why you're wrong. I want to know, get called out on what I'm doing from a different perspective so that I can rectify whatever this is and rewrite the ship. If you're not continuously trying to evolve like that as a business owner or even as a human being, you're not going to make it very far in this. And there's so many people that are joining this community, and it's really cool to watch as things are sort of taking off, the way that people are responding to people, and the fact that I mean, people are polite now, but I think that's because they haven't heard this episode. I think, I think after
Yeah.
this, we may see a little bit of it, but show up as you are. No one's expecting you to show up as this is my title, this is who I am within the company. Show up with the issue at hand, and then everybody can roll up their sleeves and give you some ideas to help you dig yourself out of the shit.
Yep. And become memorable. Like that's the principle. Like if people remember you with all of this steps, your business is gonna grow naturally because you're attracting the right people.
But the people that you remember the most are the ones that are authentic. And I don't mean authentic in like a this is what I look like when I show up. I mean like this is who I really am. Like own the things about yourself that you wouldn't necessarily like think anyone wants to see as a business owner, because those are the things like if you are hell bent on taking every single phone call, own that. This is what I like. I don't care what the phone call is. I'm a business owner. Like I want to take it. I want to be involved in every like, oh, what do you do as a business owner? Oh, I perform triage on our most unhappy clients. Why? I wanted to show up because if you're willing to do that when someone is upset, that's a great way to build
Yep.
right there. You know what I mean? So like those, but there's people in the community already mentioning stuff like this. This isn't necessarily from, me. Pattern disrupting, fantastic. I mean, we're doing that here right now, calling
Mhm.
people out. So, the community has a lot to offer.
Yeah. And it's only gonna get better. Like you said, we're just gonna keep pushing this thing to be absolutely just boldly, what is it? Relentless pursuit of ridiculous delight. That's what we want for people that are in there. We want them to transition out to their customers. It's how do we just be relentless about that?
Right.
Well,
Think of it like eating a meal at a restaurant's the best meal of your life. The only thing that you can think about is coming back continuously.
boom. Sounds good. Well, if you're interested in joining, we'll drop the link below. If you want to talk to either one of us, I'll drop our contact info in there. You can find us on LinkedIn. If you're interested in joining, don't want to make the commitment, email us. You can email me at don'tsuck at cxoworks.com, my favorite email address. And we'll get you taken care of because we just want to see good people do good things and make an impact. And this is the room that we've created to make it happen.
Yeah.
So Jax, I appreciate your time. I know we could talk for about 12 hours on this shit, so we'll cut it there and we'll talk some more inside the cult.
I'll send you some more notes from Carline.
All right, sounds good. Sounds good deal. All right, appreciate everybody watching. Thank you, Jax, and we'll see you on the next one.